So, as you guys probably know, unless you're living under a rock, that the entire world is so fascinated by the royal family, especially when a royal wedding is happening. And this week is the royal wedding of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. So I'm going to give you guys just a little brief history of the monarch, including why Queen Elizabeth was never actually supposed to be Queen of England at all. Also why, just a little look into this specific marriage and what it means for the royal family, and why this marriage to Prince Harry is going to be so revolutionary for the monarch. So I can see the look on your face, like why? What do you mean by Queen Elizabeth wasn't meant to be Queen of England? And I mean exactly that. So Queen Mary is Queen Elizabeth's grandmother, and she had two sons. We had Edward VIII and his younger brother George VI. So Edward VIII was the direct successor of Queen Mary, and he became king in 1936 when his father died. That same year, he fell in love with an American woman who happened to have already been divorced but was also currently married. So as the King of England, this isn't looking good. This is kind of an abomination to the monarch as well as to the Church of England. So he was faced with a terrible decision between his throne and the love of his life. Now, to the surprise of the entire world, he chose her. And that year, the same year that he became king, he abdicated his throne to his younger brother, George. Now, George only had one child. Can you guess? Her name was Elizabeth. So, Princess Elizabeth II was only 10 years old at the time, and up until this point, she was told her whole life, you don't have to worry about taking the throne. So her life completely changed that year as well. Fast forward to the modern day fairy tale of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Meghan is also an American. Now, the last time an American married a British monarch was when the entire monarch changed their entire line of succession, so it was a big deal. Meghan, like in 1936, was also divorced. Now, this isn't as scandalous today because Queen Elizabeth has 4 children, 3 of whom have already been divorced, so she's okay. But this is also not the first time an actress has married into a royal family. Most notably, Grace Kelly married the famous Prince of Monaco. And it was very common for British monarchs to have mistresses who were actresses and even marry one from time to time. Which also brings me into why this is such a revolutionary marriage for the royal family. So the royal family has always been pale and considered pure-blooded, right? Because they always marry within the British line. However, Meghan, as we mentioned, is an American, and she's also half black. The royal family is always famously politically neutral, and yet Meghan is a political activist as well as an outspoken feminist. We also know that royal weddings have traditionally been considered stuffy and religiously disengaged. And yet we know that Meghan and Harry's wedding is featuring an American, a fiery American Episcopalian bishop, and as well as a full gospel choir. So why is this important? In just a few months, Meghan has completely changed up this royal protocol and shaken up the royal family. The British royal family has always prided themselves in being an exemplary, just top-of-the-line family. And yet this hasn't always served them well. They're not free of scandal, and we know that. However, as we've seen in their history, the entire line of the British monarch can just completely change overnight. And I believe God has always had a hand on that. And I think he has a hand on it today with the marriage of Meghan. I think he's going to use Meghan Markle in this marriage to once again alter the course of the royal family. And I think he's using this global stage for his glory.